could hope for peace in these dusty wastelands. As they stood on the horizon, gazing at the hurricane, for certain destruction.
Okay, one, trying to get the lead. Slow down for turn one. No heroics at the T1. Here they come. Here we go. The driver's off to a fantastic start. Force who takes the lead.
Locked in this cage, I've been stuck here for days and I can't seem to let you go. You pull me up and I put you down. You gave me love, then I stole your crown. You let me in, then I pushed you out. Pushed you out, pushed you out. Come let me make up for all these pain. I've been a mess tied by all these chains. Open my eyes, now I finally see. Struck our key, yeah. Can we be free? Everything with you next to me. I know that I've been the enemy, but I've had my moment of glory, moment of glory. Lost in the ceiling, caught up in this feeling, I can't seem to let it go. Locked in this cage, I've been stuck here for days and I can't seem to let you go. You pull me up and I put you down. You gave me love, then I stole your crown. You let me in, then I pushed you out, pushed you out, pushed you out. Don't let me break up for all these pain. I've been a mess tied by all these chains. Open my eyes, now I finally see. Struck on me,
Welcome to Paul Ricard. Located in La Castellette, France, it was opened back in 1970. It was designed as a high-speed track with long straights and technical corners. The circuit has 167 possible configurations, but the 5.8 kilometer Grand Prix layout is the most commonly used for major events, including GT racing. It's one of the most notable features is the Minstrel Straight. It is a 1.8 kilometer or 1.1 mile long stretch where GT3 cars can reach incredible high speeds. The mix of fast straights and technical corners like Le Brosset put high strain on tires, especially in endurance races like the 1000 kilometers of Paul Ricard. Teams must balance pace with tire wear, as over long stints, unlike many European tracks, Paul Ricard regularly hosts with night races as well, so drivers really have to adjust to the changing temperatures and reduced visibility. The track has hosted many racing categories, including Porsche Cup, French Superbike Championship, TCR, Formula 1, and more importantly to our story, the GT World Challenge in Europe. In CMRSC, we have visited the track last year for the first round of the 2024 GT World Challenge powered by AC. Because of its modern facilities and safe design, Paul Ricard is a favorite for GT3 testing, with many manufacturers using it for pre-season testing and car development. The 1.8 mile straight allows GT3 cars to reach their potential speeds of over 280 kilometers before hitting the challenging Sainz corner, making it one of the hardest and fastest sections in European GT racing. Paul Ricard is a key venue in the GT World Challenge Europe, featuring both sprint and endurance races, including the aforementioned 1000 kilometers of Paul Ricard, a 6-hour endurance race unlike anything other. Paul Ricard is a very unique circuit when it comes to its runoffs, as unlike gravel traps, Paul Ricard has red and blue stripes as the runoff zones. It is made of high friction material to slow down cars and improve safety. Paul Ricard, the Grand Prix layout, is 5.8 kilometers long. However, the track, as I said, have had many configurations, ranging from short club circuits to full endurance layouts. Overtaking is a sight to behold around here, but you can catch the action at some of these corners, such as turn 1. A sharp right-left chicane at the end of the main straight, great for late braking moves. Drivers often slipstream from the straight to dive inside. The Minstrel Straight, turns 7 to 8, a classic GT3 overtaking zone. Slipstreaming down the straight allows for high-speed passes, but drivers must be brave to hold on to their line, which could be taken full throttle. Turn 10, it's a long sweeping right-hander where drivers can take different lines. It's possible to set up a pass by forcing a driver into a mistake with the car ahead. Turn 11, the second corner, part of turn 10, it's a tight right-hand corner where drivers can outbrake rivals who struggle for grip at the first part of the turn. And then the final corner, turn 15, a slow right-hand hairpin leading onto the main straight. Late braking moves here are possible, and with a good exit, it could be really crucial for the driver ahead to defend really hard for the counterattack into turn 1. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host to the 6th round of the 2025 GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. The Bathurst 12-hour virtual was a tough one for some, including the championship leader, who for the first time did not take the race win. Thus, the 2025 streak has come to an end for winning. But the driver to do it was his fellow countryman. Sven took pole and the win in his Lamborghini in dominant fashion, bringing the reign of terror of Mike's undefeated win streak to an end. However, with the buffer in points that Mike already has, he can afford a result like that, but still must keep on top of his game. As more newcomers join CMRSC, the competition just gets faster, and as we head into one of the fastest tracks on the calendar in France, the drivers will have to come in with a lot of confidence, knowing that mistakes won't be punished so hard. So push is the game plan, and see if you can find glory of your own, as there are only 2 rounds after it, so give it your best shot. The new era of CMRSC returns to the track that started the GT World Challenge back in 2024. For this is the 6th race of 8, now at Paul Ricard. This is round 6. The French GT3 Grand Prix.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to the 6th round of 8 in the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. Another day of fantastic racing coming your way here today. We've had some amazing practice and 7 days away after that hellish Bathurst 12-hour virtual. The drivers now get to settle down in a track that they can push really hard. We are live here for the French Grand Prix here at Paul Ricard, the track that started it all back in 2024 when this was the first round of the GT World Challenge powered by AC. Of course, this 25 rendition of the championship is the sequel to that series, and now we're at the track that started it off. A slight different configuration. If you look at your screen right there, turn 1 and 2 is a braking zone that is used in F1. That is the official GT World Challenge layout. So the drivers are doing their bits of practice until we get in for today's race. But a stacked lineup of drivers on track. Let's go take a look at them now before we get into qualifying. Sven, last week's race winner, the man to break Mike Van Doorn's win streak. The Dutchman, currently at the top of practice right now, but he is your last week's race winner. Jumped up to the points, 3rd in the standings. P2 has just now been placed by Evan Steinberg. This man in the Ford has been showing off his acrobatics throughout the week, finding new ways to flip the car. It's absolutely monumental what this guy can do. So we're gonna see what he can do exactly here. We saw that raw talent he pulled off at the mountain. Can't wait to see what he does out here. The championship leader, Mike Van Doren, on track in the Aston Martin, looking for vengeance, wants this race win back, wants to continue the streak. The streak has been broken. He wants another win back. P4, Oswin Wilson, has been in and out throughout the championship, but when he is in the championship, he is always a great sensation to watch. Klaus Klint in the McLaren, the fastest McLaren on track. He's currently P5 in the standings. Stephen Bola has found some great success in his Audi as he was able to shoot up the weekly timing sheets all the way up into the top 5. Marlon Young in the Aston Martin looking for X-Play to get up some decent points because they are in a strong championship contention in the team standings. We can't wait to see what he can do out there. Ahead of him, Deb Ramsfield looking to also make some success of his own in the Audi. Checkered flag is out. We still got some drivers to watch. David Costa, great result in the last round as well as he puts his time up into P7 here in practice. He was having an amazing race just last week, and the improvement of his championship campaign has just been getting better and better. One day we're going to see a podium. That could be today. A first-time podium for David Costa. That is on my bingo card, that's for sure. Up next down the order, we have Danny Nasir, the next McLaren on the list. Danny Nasir in the McLaren looking to get some success. He hasn't had the best of success in the last round, so we'll be seeing what he can do around here in the other McLaren. Martin Webster, teammates of Marlon Young for Team X-Play. He's still struggling a little bit with the car and the timing sheets, but as we get into qualifying, maybe he can find a way to turn that pace up. Enzo sitting in the pits in his Ferrari. Can't really get a shot of him, but currently sitting P12. Tsuwanto in the BMW, 13th. Lance Nasir in the Mercedes. He is P14. Anderson Baiano. We saw him on the grid for the last round as he shoots himself up into P12. We're going to be seeing what he can do on track as well. Going down the rest of the order, we have Peter Sabot. Let's see what he can do. Can we see him fight against the top drivers for the race win? He's been so quick throughout this week and last week. We're going to see what he can do out here. That's currently myself. I'm not in that race, but this man is Michael McName in the Ferrari, the Jamaican driver. We're going to be seeing what he can do out here. No times from him at the moment here in practice. And that is all the drivers for now. We're still expecting a couple more to enter into the session. So that's practice. Let's go talk to the drivers real quick. All right, welcome. You may already notice right now that we are in a different voice channel here. This is just something we're trying out new, so the only voice you're going to be hearing is my own. Once we get into interviews and all that stuff by the end of the race, I'll be dragging people up and we'll have our one-on-one conversations. Other than that, if you got any questions, you can use the raise up hand feature. I'll try to answer it in between sessions, but during sessions I won't be able to. If you want to write your questions down, general chat, you're free to do so. Other than that, though, great turnout. I think we're currently sitting at 17 at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 17 at the moment. Still can get up to 20 possibly. So great field out here. And just to reiterate, just before we get into qualifying, last week at Bathurst, that was just a one-off for a rolling start. We're going to be doing, standing start last week. Rolling starts are going to be for today's round, so 2x2 as we go down the grid. So once the lights go out, you're not going racing. It's 50 minutes plus one lap. Make sure to have the right set of fuel. Other than that, best of luck for qualifying. We're going to get qualifying underway as well right now. Here we go. Qualifying for the French Grand Prix up next. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go for qualifying as the drivers. We try to find them coming out on track. Yes, we can. Here we go. Drivers now exiting pits. Welcome to the 6th round of the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. This is qualifying here for the French Grand Prix. As the drivers now snake through this very iconic looking circuit that is most known for the runoff. As you can see, no gravel in sight. Blue and red painted floors, tarmac. It's gonna slow the cars down if drivers do go very wide there. But as they enter the long back straight, it's a slipstream fest, that's for sure. So I think in qualifying, as much as you want to get your banker laps in, I know drivers are really going to want to utilize the slipstream towards the rear of a lot of these drivers. Let's try to catch up to the front. Who is the first couple drivers at the top of the standings here? But looking through the order, there we see the McLaren of Klaus Klint. A couple drivers still sitting in pits, I believe. There you see Martin Webster in the Aston Martin, just going past our screens. David Sabot, there you see him warming up his tires in the Audi as they try to get around. And let's find out who is leading us for the start of this qualifying session. Actually, find out right now is Martin Webster. Slip just a little bit here, so bear with me just for a moment. It's going to be Deb Ransfield, followed by Marlon Young and Enzo. That's going to begin this qualifying session off. So, without further ado, let's go on board with Ramsfield. Let's take us through a lap around Paul Ricard. Here we go. Heading into turn 1 and turn 2. Hard braking section. Would be braking at the 100-meter marker. Hop over the curb. Now, cut tracks and track limits are very, very sketchy around here, so you can see Ramsfield taking it very slow and steady here for this first lap. Now, as he gets on his little straight here, going to make the car as wide as possible, working the 100-meter marker into the right curb. Could use a little bit more. Probably still in a warm-up lap, trying to get these tires up to temps. Accelerating out, and then just want to play with the throttle, and then as soon as you feel the back end just comply with you, then you can put the throttle all the way down for the long back straight. And then let's go on board with him and let's relax. We have a long back straight to go. As soon as we get to the end of it, drivers are going to be hitting top speeds of 280 kilometers per hour. There the Audi goes down the back straight. Nobody in sight in front of him. Clear air ahead of him. So he's good to go. Look at all the drivers on your map there on the right-hand side of your screen. All on the back straight. Heading into the kink just after the straight. And then we get into this very awkward turn here. You want to carry as much speed as possible. Apex comes in very late, just about goes a little bit wide from it. And if you thought that was bad, the left-hander here, you want to get even wider as possible. The Apex is just that yellow marker just to the left-hand side of the track there. But Ramsfield, nonetheless, is going to be racing to the last section of this track. Hard braking zone for the left-hander. Another late Apex once again. And the final corner, the sharpest thing you got. A final little hairpin there, and then on to the front straight. A long lap and a painful one if you don't like hairpins, but nonetheless, Ramsfield's going to come across the line for the drivers that are going to be chasing a lap time of a 1:56.662. Let's see what all the drivers can do. Klaus, no time up there. There we see Evan, 1:55.3. He's currently on provisional. Ramsfield's got pushed down to second. Bola was in 5th, goes down into 6th. Costa, the Audis are there in the top 6. We see Costa there down into 5th position. Danny Nasir goes to 3rd position. Says Wanto goes P7. And there you see Sven, P6 in the Lamborghini. You see just in the background there, the Ferrari is just about catching up. And I did see, is that somebody there in the Mercedes just off? It's Lance Nasir who's gone very wide. He's reversing. Looks like he's trying to head into the pit lane, possibly. 5 minutes already to go now. And Michael McName already having trouble early on in the session. costing him a bit of time to get in. Not too sure what that is all about. Just gonna make some quick audio checks, making sure the stream is all good to go. 5 minutes already to go now. All right. So audio levels are good to go. And currently right now, oh, there's a little bit of a drift there from the Mustang. Steinberg is currently on provisional pole. He was improving on his personal best there. But unfortunately, he's just fallen short. Mike Van Dorn, however, is purple in the first sector. Doesn't show it, but he is quickest right now on a lap time. This could be the lap to watch. Van Dorn down the back straight. See if we can get his first sector time. No, we cannot. 5/10 down in the... 5/10 up, actually, in the middle sector. On board with the Aston Martin. And personal improvements in the middle sector. Steven goes to P3. 55.753, but that 55.3 is still the time to beat. Van Dorn, though, is on a flyer. This could potentially be the lap that will gain him an extra point in this championship if he can get pole position. Van Dorn, couple corners to go to navigate for him. What can he do as he hugs the inside of the track? He slides it just a little bit, trying to hold on, just about holds on, maybe losing a little bit of time. The rear end is lit up, sliding on corner exit. Mike Van Dorn is just a couple hundred meters away from crossing the line. Is it gonna be provisional pole as he comes across the line? Yes, it is by almost 4/10. It's a 54.985, and the Dutchman takes pole position with 3 minutes left to go. Who is going to respond to such an amazing lap time? I think I can tell you right now, it's this man that we're watching right here, Steinberg. He's personal improvement in the first sector, and he's trying to fly by really fast. Now, surprisingly, I'm not seeing the likes. Peter Sabot, Sven Vergstein. Not seeing any of them. So I'm getting a spam call on my phone here. Sorry, can't answer that. We have an amazing qualifying to watch here. Nonetheless, though, third place right now. Third place best in qualifying. Ramsfield looking pretty good out there. The Audis are so strong around here. Even the McLarens, you can see them up there. Look at the train in the background. That's one of the Aston Martins. And I don't think that was Van Dorn. That is Marlon Young. Just on the last corners, all of them get hustled up. And Peter Sabot takes provisional pole away from Van Dorn in the Audi. It's a 53.426. And qualifying is heating up. Marlon goes wide. Evans kind of stuck in a sandwich there. But that is huge. Because now, potentially, we could see a third different manufacturer in a row different for pole position for this championship. What do the drivers respond? Oh, and there you see Van Dorn. He's slowing down. He's making space. You know what that means? He's going to put all his all into this final lap. Lap times are heating up. Track is getting hotter. And this should be the final lap drivers are going to be on. If you're in the pits, that's your qualifying done. No way you can get a lap time out here. 53s. 1 minute 53s the drivers are going to be doing out here. And this is going to be a good one. Trying to switch off to a driver up here. There we see him. Ramsfield, P4 at the moment. Goes a little bit wide. Maybe track limits for him. And Peter Sabot in the pit lane. Oh, and Van Dorn sliding just a little bit. Tire smoke there. 2/10 off in the first sector. We look at Steinberg. He has about 25 seconds to get to the line. If he can push this car really hard through this last sector, he can potentially get one more lap in him if he has the fuel. And Steinberg gets it. One more lap to go for him. Let's go back up to these drivers here. Oswin Wilson, also third place at the moment. And he's actually purple in the first sector in the Mercedes. And Peter may be biting his nails for the end of this qualifying session. We watched the last couple drivers here. Van Doren, oh, he's off in the first sector. Personal improvements in the second, but I don't know. Is this going to be improvement to get pole? Wilson on a purple. He is flying out there as all the drivers start to head into the pits and finish their qualifying sessions up. Here we go. Mike Van Doren has 1 corner to navigate in the Aston Martin. Can he take back pole position here? Racing to the line. Can he do it in the Aston Martin? Pull the rabbit out the hat in the third sector. He cannot. He is a second off. Eyes are on the Guyanese of Oswin Wilson. He's purple in the first sector, and he's personal best in the middle. Oswin Wilson, ignore your times at the bottom there. I'm not too sure why to say yellow and 2 greens, but I can for sure tell you he's on a purple first sector. Oswin Wilson, currently 3rd in the standings, needs to take down the pole time of a 53.426. The Mercedes exits beautifully around the final corner and races to the line. Here we go. Oswin Wilson, does he take pole position in France? No, but he does take down the championship leader. Wilson is on the front row for this race. My goodness. Qualifying is still not over though. We still got a couple drivers left to go on track, but for the top 3, that may be decided. However, Steinberg, we didn't see him. He crossed the line. He was able to get 1 more lap in. What can he do about it? Oh, and he takes down the championship leader. Steinberg, wow, what a lap time. He goes to 3rd. Peter Simono for Audi will take pole position here. Wilson 2nd. Steinberg 3rd. What an incredible qualifying that was. Absolutely phenomenal from the drivers. And that is insane what that qualifying was. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right, congratulations to your top 3. That is Peter, Oswin, and Evan. Great qualifying there. 50 seconds till we get onto the grid. Just make sure you guys have your pit stop strategy set. It is a mandatory tire change for this race. You must come in once to the pits and change your tires. Looking at just the responses here, Michael, I have looked in the session here. Unless you did leave before qualifying transitioned, while it was transitioning, that is the only way I could see the server glitching out on you there. I'm not too sure why it has. But if you did leave, that might be why. Just seeing Peter with the chat logs. It's cleared up as much as we can now. I'm not able to clear it up furthermore. You didn't get transition. Okay. So that's something we got to look at after this one then. If you want to join back in, you're free to do so. You may be at the back of the pack, but still a 15-minute race. And still could be a good one. We have a great grid out here. So 3 minutes left to go until we get the lights out. Remember, rolling start. What does that include? Drivers are going to be following the pace of the top 2. So Peter and Oswin, you guys are going to be setting the pace. 80 to 100 kilometers. Make sure you guys go 2 by 2 throughout the lap. If you do go single file, make sure you remember exactly what spot you are on the grid. We're going to be bunching up nose to tail as soon as we get just before the second to last corner. So that is just about as you enter the... just as you get to the entrance of the pit lane, where the pit line starts. So that's where we're going to go 2 by 2. So then you got the left hand, the right hander. So we're going to go 2 by 2 for that. And then green flag will be called out by race direction. So you're going to hear my voice when we go green. And remember, no yellows, no cautions, no VSCs, no restarts. We go racing. 50 minutes plus 1 lap. Make sure you set your pit stop strategies accordingly. And overall, let's have fun with this race. So a minute 40 left to go. And as 17 drivers are in the session. It'll be very interesting to see what goes down here. Unfortunately, we couldn't see a lot of these drivers. Andy Rees, I know, unable to take part. Andrew Narayan not in this one. A couple newcomers in here. And a couple returning faces signing up for this one. Michael McName's still having some trouble getting into the session there. Sven, I'm not too sure what happened to him. It looks like he did not have a good qualifying at all, or possibly was not taking part in qualifying. We're under a minute until we get this one underway, so let's go trackside right now and let's take a look at the drivers here. So there is your grid, stacked and ready to go for this one. We are 35 seconds away from the lights going out for this rolling start to begin. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, 6th round of 8. Can you believe it? Time goes by so quickly in this championship, and it is just getting better and better. Who is taking the win here? Peter Sabot, Oswin Wilson, Evan Steinberg, Mike Van Doren, or the others? Let's go. Here we go. Rolling start, and we go live. Racing up next. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's 6th round of the championship. This is the French Grand Prix live at Paul Ricard. This is going to be an amazing race as the drivers all get around here for the start of round 6 of 8. The drivers warming up their tires. Who is taking the win here for the French Grand Prix? First things first, let's go remove our car from the grid, and let's look at the drivers up at the front. What an amazing qualifying we had. That was one to talk about. Peter Sabot took pole position, followed by Oswin Wilson. Then it is Evan Steinberg, Mike Van Doren, Deb Ramsfield, Stephen Bola, Klaus Klint, Danny Nasir, Marlon Young, Martin Webster, Enzo, Tazwanto, Sven, David, Anderson, and Lance. Currently, 16 cars on track. Could be seeing 17 to 20 as we get this one underway. But drivers aggressively warming up their tires as they're onto the back straight now here for the first time. Hopefully this is a good race. Just going to turn audio levels up on our side here. Tensions rise here at Paul Ricard. 11 viewers watching this one live, and heart rates could not be more through the roof. As their top 4, there you see them start to come around. One more corner till they all start to bunch up together. Let's go look at our pole man. Let's follow him around. Oh, we just lost him for the moment there. There they are. Start to bunch up 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Here we go. Drivers coming around the second and final corner. Waiting for all of them to get in formation, to get this one underway. Your top 4 ready to go. Bets are all off the table for the French Grand Prix. Drivers getting ready for this one. Here we go. Waiting for it. Who's it gonna be? Green flag, green flag. Underway, here we go for the French Grand Prix. It was a bit of a delay before we got all the drivers stacked and loaded. Oh, and there's a 4-car crash already in the beginning. So many drivers already taken out of the start. It's Wilson already off the track. It's a huge bit of carnage at the back, but it's Peter Sabot and Mike Van Dorn at the top. Van Dorn goes from 4th to the lead. Oh my goodness, what a start for the championship leader. Carnage in the back. What happened there? My goodness, so many drivers getting it wrong. As they head on to the back straight now for the first time. Van Dorn leads, but was it the right time to make the lead? What happened to Wilson? What happened to 3 drivers in one corner, both of them, all 3 of them getting taken out by a Ferrari? Here we go on the back straight now. This is it. Van Dorn in the Aston, the Audi, Peter Sabot, side by side, Peter to the lead. That's what I'm saying. Van Dorn, did he make the lead? Did he make the change too early in this one? Jumping ahead, Sabot leads it. Van Dorn goes a little bit wide off track. And there you see him. He's actually trying to catch right back up ahead. Goes a little bit deep, however. Ramsfield, Steinberg just behind them. Also trying to catch up. The crowd's loving it. Chaos in the beginning. What a start for some drivers. Heartbreak for a few. But 50 minutes on the board now. 45 minutes. They still got a lot of work to do around here. As we try to look to the rear and watch behind. Let's see it. There you see Mike Van Dorn just in the background, but fastest lap's already coming on your screen there. So, Peter Sabot, fastest lap of the race. Some positions starting to go through in the rear. That's Webster getting ahead of Let's Nasir. Huge shame for some of these drivers who got it all wrong, and that is some of your drivers who were so successful in the last round. There you see McName also in the background there. Oh, in trouble. That's the BMW spinning. Of Tuzwanto, P11 goes down to 12th. Wilson, damage on that Mercedes. That's very unfortunate. Baiano and Costa side by side into the curbs there. And Baiano goes up into 7th. Remember, that Ford on these very quick tracks, you got to look back at Spa in the first round. Baiano was cutting through traffic like no tomorrow. As they head on to the back straight, drivers are going to be very close within each other. So here comes David Costa as he goes around the outside, and this is where you plan moves. Do you stay behind a driver on this long back straight knowing that you could get overtaken back? And we may see it right here. This may be a prime example of making the move too early, or does the setup work of David Costa have enough to stay ahead of the Ford? It's all about how and when you plan overtakes around here at Paul Ricard. It's so easy to follow cars around here. As they go around and come around, you can see now Steinberg is currently on a bit of pressure here. Goes a little bit wide off track for the moment. Baiano overtaken by Sven. He's starting to get through the order here. Don't see much damage on his car as he slides his Lamborghini as well now. Here we see Marlon Young getting a move done on a mistake that was made by Tuzwanto. He's struggling in that BMW. Fastest lap once again for Peter Sabot. Peter never won a race in his second race of this championship. He's currently pulled out a gap of 2 seconds now. As we watch the drivers now come out of the straight and into turn 1, and Costa side by side with the Ferrari. Oh my goodness! And the Ferrari had to cut the curve just about and loses all his momentum. Enzo struggling, loses 3 positions in just a couple corners there. And McName, oh, in trouble! Enzo taps Sven. I think Sven closed the door way too early. A mistake there from Sven, and that's a very sharp corner. As he's closing the door there, unfortunately gets it all wrong. Meanwhile, was there trouble for Costa? It was. It's trouble for David Costa. He's gone from the top 5 to now outside. top 10. One little mistake like that truly costing him so much. The mid-pack, very strong, and that Lamborghini is already flying now as he gets ahead of Enzo. They see Wilson there in the Mercedes trying to get back up in the order. Again, shades of that first round where huge chaos went down, and it was all about some of the quicker drivers who were in the rear starting to close up the gaps to the front. Meanwhile, amazing move there as these two continue to squabble. Enzo and David side by side. Who's the first to let out over here? Crossover. David Costa now onto the inside. Sabo, another fastest lap of the race. In the Audi now, can he hold on? He just about, oh no! Slides the rear and gets it going. I think he was touched there by Enzo. Enzo, gotta calm down just a little bit there. All right, Enzo, make sure you watch the aggression there. Just watch the aggression there, Enzo. And he is now fighting down the order. Meanwhile, Sven now side by side with the Ford Baiano. He cuts up into 8th position. This is going to be a great fight for 6th place. On board. Over the curb now. They're all following the McLaren. This could be an interesting slipstream fest as they go down this straight. Staying on board with him. Wilson goes a little bit wide. And now he's got a great chance of an overtake. Here we go. Meanwhile, have to cut off for a moment because Ramsfield has to move on. Enzo as Enzo slides his Ford on the straight there. Let's go back up to this battle here. But Ramsfield goes to the podium. Sven gets the move done on Oswin Wilson. Can Wilson hold on? He's actually on the outside. Sven gave him room there. Respectful racing between the two. Wilson has a wider line now. Could potentially swing it around. Dance their GT3 machinery. Great stuff here. Great racing from these drivers. Amazing action all over. We don't know who exactly to watch in this race, so we're going to find ourselves the closest battles we have on track, and this is one of them. Evan. He's currently chasing down the Audi, and he's looking very strong. Devin is still both of these drivers in their first championships of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Hops over the right-hand curve, gets to the left-hand curve. Can he send it down the inside? If I was Evan, maybe I'd stay back. Possibly get a slipstream up the front straight, up the back straight, I should say, and make a move there. Meanwhile, Sven gets even closer now to Klaus Klint in the McLaren. McLaren versus Lamborghini. You hear the engine of that Lambo hollering as it gets onto the back straight. Here we go. Can he get this move done? Goes to the outside. Can he clear him? Side by side, gets the move done. Sven gets the 6th position, starting from the back of the field. And he's moving very well currently in his race. He's got a lot of work to do, but 37 minutes to go. The top 5. It's quite a ways away because the top 5 is actually broken up from the mid-pack. So he's got some work to do to catch up to Stephen Bola. But that's where strategy will come into play. But some of these drivers are still racing hard on track, and this is your battle for P3. Evan, once again, side by side, around the outside of the hairpin. Final corner, slipstream engaged. Gets the move done. Evan goes back up to 3rd, but for how long? Because the Audi of Deb goes through now. Side by side, heading into turn 1. We watch with Bola. Great First seat, front row to this action here. He looks for a move, hops over the curb. But Evan now with a potential chance to get this move done. Incredible racing from all the drivers here. And the top 5 is looking amazing. On board here with Deb Ransfield. And Evan still hunting for a move as he dives it down the inside. Wow, that is very bold. And he's got the move done. And you gotta ask yourself, did he make the move too early? How powerful is that slipstream now as the Ford desperately tries to scurry away? Evans made his one move. He can drift back, but here comes the Audi. Deb now heads back up to 3rd position. Slipstream fest, and we love it here. Heading into the right-hand kink as they just about drop their speeds down. This battle is absolutely amazing. Meanwhile, Costa and Baiano both trading moves together. Oh, and Evan, trouble, he goes wide, loses both positions, and Stephen Bola has made the move on 2 cars and 1 corner. Oh, what's the contact between these two back here? Stephen Bola, 2 cars in 1 corner. Evan goes to 4th. Deb, it's all three cars have just been reversed in 1 corner. Wow, they get up to the front straight. Bola now 3rd position. This is so entertaining between these drivers. And look who's coming up. It's Sven. He is not that far from this battle. Also, Wilson, Clint. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely amazing racing. Oh, in trouble. What has happened there? Evan goes way too deep on corner exit. Deb has a great run, and he's gonna get 2 cars in 2 corners potentially. The Audi to the inside gets the move done. Deb goes back to the podium. Amazing racing, and the Ford doesn't look like it missed the heartbeat. Steven runs deep, goes wide off the circuit. Chance for the Ford now to catch up. He starts to close up now. What's going down here? Apologies for that there. Had a little bit of a troubleshoot just to go through. Meanwhile, Evan, Bola, Ramsfield, still all together. And we're going to continue this battle all the way now. Peter Sobel, fastest lap of the race. But the battle we're watching is right down here. Ramsfield goes wide. Bola to 4th. Evan is still in 5th, trying to fight back. Great run, I will say now. Does he? No, Bola is actually getting a slipstream on Ramsfield. All of these drivers so close on pace, but now you gotta wonder, what is the lurking Lamborghini in the background gonna do with this kind of battle up the road? Bola so quick out of turn 2. Into the right, left-hander now. Sven gets closer. Deb holds on to 3rd place. Bola dives it down the inside. Almost contact is made. They are all nose to tail. They all train through. Looking to the rear of the Audi. And Bola almost making contact with his fellow Audi. But now he's got to watch out because the Ford is going to be on his tail now. We go rear cam of him now. The Ford slowly closing up. And here we go. Does Evan go for this move here? He's in perfect contention. Down to the inside. Evan, can he make the move stick? Can he get it done around here? Looks like it just about gets it done. Evan goes back to 4th position. Bola down to 5th, and this time he has another car to defend from. That's not going to help his case. Sliding the Lamborghini is Sven. Let's take it to the drone. This is absolutely iconic racing. And there you see all the drivers so close together, Deb and Evan. And in the background, there you see the Lamborghini. Oh, and Evan goes up to 3rd position. Deb runs deep, as well as Bola. Evan goes back to 3rd position. What an amazing race this is. Absolutely. You cannot get this racing anywhere else but Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Holy. Back to the drone. So Sven has already taken down one of these 3 cars here. Next up, it's the next out. It's Deb. It's Ramsfield. What can he do now? Will he defend? Will Deb focus on the forward in front? This is such an interesting race for these drivers. Who goes where? What does what? But right now, Evan holding on to this 3rd position. Oh, in trouble! Because Ramsfield wiggling out just before they get onto the straight. Ramsfield goes wide, and Sven goes to 4th position. Just about. They're side by side. Look at this. Door to door. Ramsfield, Verkstein, trees in the way. There you see them. But the alley is always ahead. Oh, and it's contact between the 2. Both drivers spinning out on the straight. Oh my goodness me. 2 close together. Look at this. Clint Wilson will go through. More trouble. Ramsfield hits both of them. He's trying to find his foot. He gets back on track. 2 close together. They bumped. Sven, Ramsfield bumped into each other on the straight. Whose fault was it? Or was that just racing? Nonetheless, though, has delayed the progress of Verkstein's championship hopes. Wilson and Clint will say thank you very much. We will take these positions. This podium battle is just getting more and more insane. Evan is in 3rd, Bola 4th, Clint 5th, Wilson 6th, and Verkstein will take it to the pit lane now for his mandatory stop. Oh, he's tapped the wall into the inside there for the moment. And Ramsfield as well, gonna enter the pit. Meanwhile, this is another battle that we were watching earlier, Baiano and Costa. Both of them opening the gap to each other. But pit lane is a little bit busy now. There's 2 cars in it. As they all go past some of these drivers here, Sven now taking to pit exit. And he's gonna re-overtake back Deb, and amazing battle between the 2, and you gotta wonder, was it netcode potentially? Also we see Enzo also in the pits, just want to drive through for cutting the course, and that's track limits for him. He's gonna need to come to the pits, roll through, no pit stop for you when you come in. And that's track limits biting him. You gotta keep it between the white lines and between the curbs. That is the rule. Meanwhile, let's continue this race here. Lensness here has already been lapped by 3rd place of Evan and 4th place of Bola. Coming up now, it's Clint and Wilson. If you're loving the action, you're going to love the next round that's coming up, the penultimate race of the championship at Indianapolis for the American Grand Prix. The USGP at Indianapolis will be a good one. 7 days time. Lensness here gets out the way for his fellow Mercedes and the McLaren. So Wilson now can start to focus even more on Klaus. Remember, Klaus in the last round had an amazing battle with Oliver Bloch. It was great racing between the 2, but now Wilson has a huge opportunity to get 5th position. Remember, he was starting P2. He qualified 2nd place, so in theory, he should be the 2nd fastest car. Meanwhile, the gap between 1st and 2nd place is day and night because Peter Sabot leads this one by 12.8 seconds against Mike Van Dorn.
as those two continue out there. We continue this one down here. Oh, in trouble for Tazwanto. He's off the track. Oh, and he's just having more and more issues. That rear end is not sticking. You got to imagine that's probably the tires absolutely being destroyed. The more that car goes wide and sliding off the track, needs to take it to pits. He has a drive-through either way, so he needs to come in once or he will be disqualified. We watch him. Does he come into the pits? No! Too much power! Slides off the track once again. Tazwanto needs to get sorted out on track. Needs to come into the pits, get those tires replaced, but also needs to serve a drive-through penalty. Oh, and he's got a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. That is gone from bad to worse for him. Meanwhile, we head up back to this battle here, battle for P5. Still, Oswin Wilson and Klaus Clint fighting for the top 5 spot. Big point still up for grabs for a lot of these drivers, and the podium is still undecided. We don't know who is going to be on the podium between these two. Still a lot of driver and a lot of races. 3 races left to go. 25 minutes of racing left to go for this one. We are still just getting started. I say that as we now enter the halfway point in this one, because now we're going to be entering the second stage of this race. We're going to be watching and finding out strategy-wise what's going down. There you see Tazwanto in the pits. Has he taken a pit stop as he comes out? I think he'd take... Tazwanto may have taken tires. He still needs to make a drive-through, 2 drive-throughs. Meanwhile, Lance Nasir getting out the way for Baiano and eventually for Marlon Young. Klaus, trouble for him. What has happened? He's run out of space there, and Wilson is ahead, so I'm not too sure what happened to Klaus. Possibly made a mistake going wide. Tires are getting cooked around here. And the degradation, that is one thing we did not expect. The tire deck to be all over the place for some of these drivers. The ones that are pushing very hard and staying in battles are really suffering with it, but the drivers who are out in front, or at least with clean air, you're talking about your Sabot, Van Dorn. Even to this point, his tires may be severely worn out, but Steinberg also has some pretty worn out tires. Maybe not as much as possibly the other drivers behind him, but still. But top 5 all in clear air now, and they can finally settle in. 25 minutes straight of nose to tail action-packed racing between these guys. Amazing racing. Meanwhile, our retirements so far in this one, unfortunately, Michael McName, who I think retired after lap 1 of this one. So a bit of a shame there for the Jamaican driver, leaving Jamaica with no GT3 driver in this race. Meanwhile, what is our next closest battle we have on track? It is Ramsfield, who had made his pit stop, as well as David Costa. So these two are fighting for position. It may not be officially for 11th position, but they're battling 2 Audis together. Webster, drive-through for speeding. Do not bring back the speeding penalties. Remember, we had a whole heap of them back at round 2 and round 3. Yeah, and round 4, actually. Nürburgring, Italian Grand Prix, and Misano. Those are some races that drivers were getting it all wrong. No matter what, though, we still have incredible racing left to go. And if you're enjoying the action, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We want to say first and foremost, thank you for 800 subscribers. Wow, still counting as well, but 800, such an amazing achievement for CMRSC, and we can't thank you enough for supporting us as we daily upload and weekly stream. It's absolutely amazing support. Oh, in trouble! Oh my goodness! The race leader, Peter Sabot, drive-through for speeding! Oh my god, he's got to make a pit stop again! Has to roll through! Peter Sabot! Has he thrown this race win away?
Mike Van Doorn gets the car slowed down. Potentially, this could be his race win over a mistake from Peter Sabot. He can change his tires in this pit stop and must come in again. He's got about a 13-second buffer, but oh my goodness, that is huge. Race leader, Peter Sabot, needs to come through the pits once. And he's got to pray. He's got to use these now new, fresh, soft compound tires to good work, because Van Doorn knows that the race win could potentially be his if he can have an amazing outlap. This is absolutely huge in this race now. Peter Sabot needs to take a drive-through. Now, granted, the pit lane is not that long. Can he get away? This is huge. Race lead up for contention. Peter needs to start cutting through. And there you see him. He's already getting caught up with Steven, who's yet to make a pit stop. But maybe will help him on the back straight as he can get a free slipstream. Not helping his case, though, if he's going to get slowed up through the slow corners. And he's going to follow him. Meanwhile, does Van Doorn have anybody? He does not. Van Doorn's on his own on track. So Peter is going to go back up into second. Costa drive-through for cutting the cars. Oh no, and he's in a battle with Ramsfield. Ramsfield is going to be able to come up through the order. Oh, in trouble! Did Ramsfield make contact again? All right, Ramsfield, really got to watch the aggression there. Just going side by side with drivers. And what has happened to David Costa and Ramsfield? Webster gets his drive-through taken. But now Deb Ramsfield, two moments in this race where he's just got it all wrong. Oh, and it's huge damage, man. After making a pit stop. Meanwhile, oh, and he's hit the wall. Peter Sabot, how has he hit the wall there? Every action's coming through at once. Lance this here. Drive through for cutting. Where is Mike Van Doorn? He is racing around the final corner. Peter gets another drive through. Peter has gotten a second drive through for cutting the track. Oh my goodness. Peter Sabot, what is going on? He's done it twice. Mike Van Doorn has taken the net lead of this race. Peter Sabot has just possibly thrown away the race win. I am speechless, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely speechless in this one. Peter Sabot gets a drive-through penalty while making his first pit stop, and then while taking the drive-through, got another speeding penalty. Oh, man. I mean, that's what happens when you don't practice your pit entry. Drivers like Van Doorn know it too well, has never gotten a drive-through. But now you got to imagine, as Seswanto takes his drive-through penalty. You got to imagine, what is this race been? Honestly. So much action, so much chaos. And Mike Van Doorn may be able to pick up a race win in a cakewalk. This is huge. I have never seen anything like it. Lance here gets his drive-through taken. Peter Sabot fighting no matter what. It's still racing on track for position. How can he get a speeding penalty in the pits? He got the speeding penalty as he crossed the line. He didn't get it while he was actually in the pit lane itself. He got it as he crossed the line. I guess drivers are not paying attention where the line is. Nonetheless, though, Sabot needs to enter. And that's the line right there. You just saw it. That was the pit line. Monumental. That is absolutely insane. Mike Van Doorn takes the lead of this race. Net lead, I will say. Steven Bola is actually race leader. But net lead because Bola has not made a pit stop. He's got some racing to do. But you gotta imagine how huge this race has really turned out to be. And yeah, just checking the replay here. So Peter did hit, yeah, he just hit the limiter. He passed over the limiter and he was a little too quick. Mighty unfortunate for him. This race definitely should have been his for this race win. But no matter what, a lot of racing to go. And Peter is now on the back foot of this one. He's currently 3rd place, net P2. And he's got 13 seconds to Mike Van Dorn. So let's do a little bit of calculation here. At the start of this race, Peter Sabot was able to open up 13 seconds in the first 20 minutes of this one. Now on the back foot, 13 seconds in 16 minutes. There's a chance. There is a great chance that he can get this one done. Van Dorn's going to need a push, though, because he knows that the fastest lap and the overall faster times are going to Peter Sabot. If Peter can miraculously get the greatest comeback and win this race, wow. I wouldn't even know what to say. That would be huge. But 15 minutes, 42 seconds, and 1 lap. That is all the time that man has. Peter Sabot is going to be pushing with all his might. The gap's already down 13 seconds there. He's already put it down 4/10. And we're going to actively watch the live timing sheets, and we're going to see what goes down here. Meanwhile, Trouble, oh no, not Trouble, Baiano gets it into the pits. No drive-through penalty for you there. So he's going to come in for his stop. And let's take a look at the drivers. We're yet to make a pit stop. Meanwhile, take a look at this as we find that information. On board with Sven as he's catching up to Evan. Remember, they're all fighting for 3rd position. Bola has not made his pit stop. Here, the following drivers have not made their pit stop as yet. Steven Bola. And that's it. Wow. Okay, never mind. Every driver's made their pit stop except the race leader, Steven Bola. He's going to try to potentially go to the very end if he can. Meanwhile, Peter Sabot has now put that gap down to 12.4 seconds. The last time a driver was chasing down Van Dorn, it was Andy Reese at the British Grand Prix at Brands Hatch. Andy was quicker that day, but mistake after mistake, pushing the car too hard, could not get it done. History will repeat itself? Who knows? One thing's for sure, we still got some amazing racing left to go in this one. We're going to keep you updated with lap times as this race goes down. The last lap for Mike Van Dorn, 1:54.6. Peter, 1:53.5. Still a great deal of racing left to go here, and we're watching our battle for net 3rd. Remember, it's between Evan, Sven, and Bola. Remember, Bola has not made his pit stop yet. He's still holding on to the lead. With all his might. We also have another battle down here. Costa against Webster. Battle for 9th position. Remember, Costa made a mistake early on in this race, and he was trying to catch back up throughout the field here. He's now chasing down the Aston Martin. Here we go, drag race. As we continue this one, 10.7. Keep an eye out on P2 and P3 in the gaps between each other. That's going to be the one to watch as we get towards the end of this race. And just another drive-through penalty for cutting the circuit. And track limits not being too nice for them. But here we see also another move here, as we saw there. Costa and Webster still nose to tail between each other. Meanwhile, Sven gets the move done. 2 battles to watch, getting so confused. But again, did Sven make the move too early? Because they're going to be on the straight now, and Slipstream is going to be engaged for the Mustang. A great exit, however, for Sven. And there you see them chasing down. They cannot be weaving down the straight. Oh, and Evan you gotta stick in line with that Lamborghini if you want to hold on to that slipstream. But that Lamborghini just looks to be quicker. That corner exit is so crucial to nail down
once you get onto the straight, because that will make a huge difference. Because if you can escape the slipstream, that would be huge. Let's continue this race on. Gap between Sabot and Van Dorn, 9.2, 11 minutes, 34 seconds, and counting left to go. Meanwhile, side by side here. Crossover, Marlon Young against Enzo. Danny Nasir just behind them. Enzo now goes wide, tucks to the inside, gets the move done as Marlon goes deep. Danny Nasir is gonna punch his way right through that battle. Oh, actually trouble for Danny. He runs a little bit wide down there. Meanwhile, Ramsfield's actually out of this race. So I'm now noticing that I think he was always out this race from the damage he got with the contact early on between himself and the Mustang. Nonetheless, though, he is out of this one, leaving us down to 16 left in this race. Gap is still going down, and we still have a lot of battles to watch. Costa, Webster, battle for P9, and both of them pretty close together as well. Marlon Young and Enzo are 0.8 difference between each other. Costa, we watch him now. Can he get this move done on Webster? Remember, you got to think back to the British Grand Prix where we saw Martin really put his elbows out and defended hard as he did with Danny Nasir in that race as they were fighting for that top 10. And similarly, they're doing the same right here. P9 at least. Meanwhile, Marlon Young has got the move done on Enzo. And Marlon Young is going to drive through for cutting. And what is going on here? Right behind them, that's your race leader, Mike Van Dorn. Bola enters the pits. Danny Nasir has blue flags. He gets out the way. Marlon Young is a drive-through penalty. Oh, and as he gets held up through here, needs to go wide. Both of the drivers do so. Van Dorn will be able to go through. Yes, he does. And Marlon Young throwing the car too deep has not helped his case and has gotten the drive-through for it. Drive-through penalties galore. So yeah, unfortunately, that retirement from Deb now leaves one less Audi for us to watch on track. But the battle now that Bola has pit, he came out, Stephen Bola, we haven't even talked about it, he came out in 6th, so lost a lot of time trying to hold that one off. So Sven is up into 3rd, and he is 12.9 seconds behind the race leaders. So he's going to need to hope for a miracle if some fireworks were to go off. But there you see, battle for 3rd, 3 seconds behind is Steinberg, and about 5.5 behind is Oswin Wilson. So still a chance for the podium is alive for them. Meanwhile, though, 8 minutes left to go, and here comes Peter Sabot now entering this 3-car battle here that he has to cut through. Gets through Marlon Young. Enzo will have to stay wide. Needs to let him through, and does so. Danny Nasir also needs to let him through, and just about will let him on this straight. So honestly, look like at this stage Van Dorn may have lost a little more time than Peter did throughout that battle. Drama fills the air. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left to go, and the hunt is still on for Peter Sabot. Taking 2 drive-through penalties after leading the race. Entering the pits 3 times to Van Dorn's 1. The gap is 5.8 after it was 13 seconds behind him. He was leading this race by 13 seconds. We have 7 minutes left to go. Peter Sabot could potentially
get the biggest race win CMRSC has ever seen, and probably the biggest win that Peter Sabot will ever get in his sim racing career. This is going to be an absolute barn burner of a finish to the end of this French Grand Prix. You do not get any much better than that. This is Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Meanwhile, Costa, Webster, still fighting it out. Costa goes a little bit wide, runs off the track. Gotta hope he doesn't get a drive-through. For the amount of times these drivers are going off the racing line, off the track, into the painted curbs. And now 6 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in this one as they come across the line. And they have lap traffic ahead of them. And Webster hard on the brakes. Costa caught up just a bit. Nose to tail, closest battle you have on track at the moment. Webster defends, Costa goes down the inside. Does he force it? Very close, cannot get it done. Lap traffic in the way. Lance Nasir, oh, and it's contact as Webster slows down. Nose to tail, both of them touching each other there as they get through. Tight section of the track, but they don't make contact with that lap traffic there of Lance Nasir. Marlon Young gets his drive-through taken. He is exited out in P12. And he's got a bit of work to do. 13 seconds to get up to Enzo. Meanwhile, looks like Lance Nasir, has he made a move there on Deswanto? I think Deswanto potentially may have entered the pits. Meanwhile, oh, look at this! Trouble! Oh, and it's Wilson! He's made contact with Marlon Young! He's off the track. Remember, Marlon Young's off. Oh, and the BMW again. How did he lock up and face the other direction there? Wilson is in the top 5. He was closing down on Steinberg. He gets in trouble. Evan gets to live for another day. And the gap is opened up to 7 seconds. You got to imagine that Marlon Young, non-respect blue flags there. Did Oswin catch him up at a bad time? Did they make contact accidentally? We do not know. We wish we had instant replay, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Costa is now really close to the rear of Martin Webster, and this might be the move that will finally put him up. And David Costa, can he hold on through the chicane? Just about. Costa goes up to 9th position, Webster to 10th. And David finally gets a move done between these two. Meanwhile, 3 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. And we're going to eventually look back into the leaders. But you got to think, shades of the Italian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, before we get to that, Webster, sneaky, gets back up his move, back into P9. Costa runs deep. But now as they enter the back straight, who's it going to be? Nose to tail. And Costa gets a drive-through for cutting the circuit. And that is going to be his chance of getting P9 down the drain. He's still going to race, though, no matter what. Door-to-door action on the back straight. Costa, though, will have to serve a drive-through. 3 minutes left to go in this race. Costa will go up ahead. But now it is time to look to the leaders. Peter Sabot and Mike Van Dorn. Teswanto gets another drive-through for cutting the circuit again. Not his race, that's for sure. Peter Sabot, 3.5, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. 1 lap as well to do it. Mike being off pace and Sabot getting 2 drive-throughs. Could have definitely taken this one. Maybe, Andy, maybe. What an exciting race. And we're coming down to it. Shades of the Italian Grand Prix. Mike Van Dorn, who was leading that race, was chased down by an Audi towards the very end. Who was it in that race that was chasing him down? It was Luca Andretta. This time it's Peter Sabot. Peter now sees Van Dorn up the road, 2.9, 2.8. Last lap times, Van Dorn, 154.544. Peter Sabot, 153.563. Purple, middle sector. 2 minutes left to go in this one. The gap is 2 seconds. You gotta start thinking. Peter's gotta pull about a second a lap now. And look how much he's chucking this car throughout the corners. They also have lap traffic to overtake. And I believe that is Webster and Costa. Yes, it is. They're both leapfrogging each other. But Costa has to come into the pits eventually. Oh, the gap's actually opened up. 3.1. Peter's lost some time. Peter Sabot has lost a little bit of time, and that's what I was saying. Chasing down to the very end against Van Dorn. Meanwhile, Webster and Costa still fighting up ahead of the leaders you see in the background. And Webster will go to 9th position. But David now, can he pull a move somewhere, somehow? Under a minute left to go. They should be on the 3 lap to go. Meanwhile, Costa around the outside. Oh, and a little bit unstable on the curb. 2.7 once again. The gap is put down to 30 seconds left to go. 3 laps to do it. Here at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. Gap is going down. 15 seconds are gonna come across the line. Officially, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to do it here for the French Grand Prix. So ignore the checkered flags that you're gonna be seeing on the leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screen. Because now it's 2 laps, so pay attention to the top of your screen where that timer expired, where it says race and the time of the server. When you see the white flag, they need to know it's the last lap, but I can tell you it's 2 to go. 1.6 the difference. Peter Sabot in contention for this one, but Van Dorn catching up to traffic, but on the back straight. Could be able to get through pretty quickly. Gap's 1.8. This time in 1 lap. Peter needs to be under a second, and he needs to slipstream. This is it. This is the chance that he can make history. Peter Sabot in his second race could take the race win against Mike Van Dorn. 1.6, and that Audi is so quick on the back straight as it gains at least a 10th. Van Dorn's already taken down Webster. Webster needs to get out the way. And he does. Awkward line there for Sabot that he has to take the inside now. 1.8 still the difference. I think Webster already knows that Costa has to take a drive-through, so he's fine. He doesn't have to worry too much. 1.5 the difference. They're going to be entering the last lap. Oh, and Mike Van Dorn slides the rear of his Aston Martin. The gap has gone down to 1.2 seconds. Costa to the pits. Van Dorn is on his heels now. They're going to come around the final corner to begin the final lap. And the gap, ladies and gentlemen, is under a second. This is it for the race win. Peter Sabot against Mike Van Dorn. This is it. 8/10 the difference. No mistakes now from each of these drivers. Winner takes all. Into turn 1. You can see how aggressive Sabot is. He's got nothing to lose. Van Dorn goes wrong. Oh, and I thought Costa was Sabot there, but Costa gets a drive-through. Or he takes his drive-through. My apologies. Gap is 6/10. How aggressive is Van Dorn through the curbs? Look at him go! Using all of the limits he can. This is going to be a drag race on the back straight. Can the Audi set himself up for one move? This is it. 6/10 the difference. 6.4. Let's see how it looks. Mike Van Dorn is on the final lap. Leads this one. Waits to the inside. Peter Sabot doesn't look like he'll be able to get him on the back straight. He's gaining 4.75. 4.5. 4/10. He's not gonna get him on the back straight. Has a couple corners to go. They pass sector 2. Van Doorn goes wide. The gap's 3/10. Nose to tail. It's one thing to catch up. It's another thing to overtake. Van Doorn just needs to have a mistake-free last sector of this race. Peter Sabo, calm and steady. 4/10. Van Doorn. Oh, look how close they get. Peter Sabo needs a dive bomb in the final 2 corners, and he looks like he potentially could be looking for one. Peter Sabo, one more chance. Mike Van Doorn to the outside. Are we gonna see a photo finish? I can't believe it. Peter Sabo to the outside. Can he do it? Drag race to the line. No, he can't. Mike Van Doorn will survive. Can he? To the line. Yes, he does. Mike Van Doorn will win it here at the French Grand Prix. Oh my goodness, what a race that was. I saw a Ford there on the track. Who was that? Baiano almost made contact with the leaders there. But Mike Van Doorn has done it. He's held off and he's won this race. What a fight that was. Sven will take 3rd position in that one, but you cannot make up that one, and I know that both of them, their heart rates are absolutely through the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club at its best. Come on, please, tell me another league that could top us, seriously. What a race. Celebrate, Van Doorn. That is one of the best race wins I've ever seen from you. One of the best. One of the goddamn best. I'm giving him this moment. Let's go. What a fight. What a fight. That's getting in the highlight reel, isn't it? That's for sure. He's burnt out his tires. He's got a puncture. Who gives a damn? He's your winner. Absolutely insane. Let's go talk to our drivers right now, because we gotta hear their reactions to that one. Holy moly. Just gonna crank the Discord up just a bit here for you guys. Let's go talk to them. All right, Van Doorn, just accept that invite to speak. Mike Van Doorn, my goodness. I know you are sweating like crazy. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say after watching that fight. Van Doorn, floor is yours. How was that one?
Yeah. Lap 1, Merchant strikes again. Started P4 and then found my way into P1 after the corners. And yeah, that slipstream is just insanely OP when you get within 6/10. So he was able to, Peter was able to get back past very easily, and then yeah, I mean, I knew I was faster than him, and he should have. Well, he would have deserved the race win, but then he made this little mistake going into the pit lane, and then did it again when he was serving his drive-through. So yeah, I made sure to say, I said to myself, like, at the start of this championship already, like, I'm not gonna take any risk into the pit lane. I'm just gonna take it safe. Because someone will make a mistake, and well, we saw it with Andy, and now we see it with Peter twice.
We should be good in the audio now on Discord.
He would have probably deserved the race win there. But in the end, of course, I find myself in front, and then I'm able to somehow stay in front. So, yeah.
That's a championship drive. Less mistakes, no mistakes from you. You drove yourself a great race. Here and there, you sliding the car a little bit, pushing that Aston Martin very hard to the very end. But, I mean, last lap, tell me the emotions. How were you feeling inside?
Kidding myself. No, he was 7 tenths behind at the whole night. No, 9 tenths behind, I think, at the start of the lap. So just barely outside of slipstream range. So I was just thinking to myself, if I can keep him outside of 6 tenths, then I might be fine to the end of the lap. And I mean, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, it's a bit mixed. Like it's nice to win the race, but you know, on pace you don't deserve it at all. So, but anyway, it's still a good result nonetheless.
I think it's one of those take what you can get, and I think still you got a good race at the end where you did have to put some work in for your race win if you wanted to make it yours. So to then take it, I mean, incredible racing. You gave us a great battle. Congratulations on that race win. Phenomenal from you, truly.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're going to get down to second place now. Peter, I've sent you an invite. If we can get you into the booth now. Peter!
How you doing?
How are you doing? That's the real question. That last stint. Oh my goodness. So close. So close. Take me through what went down in that race.
Well, it went from a Sunday night cruise to a drive of my life. I missed. I never pitted during practice, so I had no idea where the line was, and I blew. I had two speeding in the pit, and when I went in to serve the first one, I got another one, and luckily I didn't get another one for that.
Coming towards that last lap, though, you do remember before the pit stops, you were 13 seconds ahead after the first 15 minutes of the race. After the two drive-through penalties, when you were finally free on track, you were 13 seconds behind in the same about 15 minutes left to go. Once you exited that pit lane after getting and going through that second drive-through penalty, in your head, was that game over, or did you still think there was a chance?
You know what? I just pushed as hard as I could. First stint, I was saving the tires, and the second stint, I told him, "Good game, guys. We're pushing."
Well, take us through the emotions of the last lap then. What went down in your head? You realize you're exiting the final corner, going onto the final lap. You were able to take down 13 seconds to now 9 tenths. The emotions, how were they throughout that lap when you until you crossed over that start-finish line? How were you feeling?
I think I was smiling the whole lap. I didn't think I could catch him, and I tried to focus so not to make mistakes, but the car was sliding on me, so I couldn't really push as hard as I wanted. I kind of feel that for the last, when I was right behind him, I should have taken somehow the outside so I could push him towards the left, and maybe I could have taken the win like that, but he covered that, so good for him. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to you as well. Oh, so close to that race win. Faulty mistake, a little bit of a rookie error there from you with the pit stop, but to know that despite 2 drive-throughs and entering the pits 3 times in this race compared to Mike's 1 and almost winning that race, that's got to be a pat on your back, and I truly cannot wait and see what comes out of your performance in the last couple rounds and the future of CMRSC. I mean, incredible effort. You get your flowers only in your second race, giving us such an iconic battle. You're definitely a one to watch in CMRSC, and we can't wait to see what you can do. Peter, congratulations, and maybe P2, but you're driver of the day in our hearts, that's for sure. Congratulations on that second place.
Thanks a lot. I hope it was entertaining.
Very entertaining. You got to watch back the stream. That was fun.
Will do. Take care, man.
Take care. And we'll drag up third place driver, Sven. You got your invite? Sven,
Hello.
wow. you had a very different storyline in this race. While we were watching our top 2 drivers go down, your fight was starting from essentially back of the grid to end up in 3rd. You had a great battle to come through the field. Take us through it.
It was absolutely terrible. I got crashed in quali, so yeah, that's why I didn't really get any time in. And in the race, lap 1 was like unreal. I was getting punted about 4 or 5 times.
Oh boy.
So I ended up P-last. And yeah, during the race I had a lot of crashes with some drivers, which was, yeah, not so good, I'd say. I also had some good battles, and I'm surprised I got P3 at the end. I expected like P6 or so after all of the incidents I had.
Your race pace was amazing out there. I believe, yeah, your best time a 54.3, and you were the fastest of the drivers outside the top 2. So race pace wise, you were the quickest for your 3rd position. So you definitely earned that one, that's for sure. But going through some of those battles, I know we did see a couple of them, and even seeing you on the back straight having an accident with another driver. We're not too sure what's going on there, that we'll review after the race. But nonetheless, though, the one we want to talk about is that 4-car battle for 3rd place. I'm talking you had Ramsfield, Steinberg, and you coming up in there, and I'm just missing one of those drivers, Stephen Bola, that was in that one. You catching up. How was that fight? That was an amazing one to watch with you in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good fight, I'd say. I felt like I was a bit quicker than the rest of in that battle, but yeah, I was started from the back. Yeah, sadly I did have the crash on the straight with someone. Yeah, I think he turned left, but it's not a big deal. He probably thought he was ahead, but at the end he wasn't. But yeah, it's no issues. I mean, I'm happy with the result I still have.
Well, nonetheless, though, congratulations. Great 3rd place. Able to advance yourself even more into the points. And overall, you got 2 more rounds to do. Can't wait to see what you can do on track. We're still waiting for, I think, that big Titan top 3 battle between yourself, your Van Doren, and Peter Sabot. So can't wait to see what you guys can do. But in your case, you still got some great racing coming ahead of you, and we can't wait to see what you can do out there. Congratulations on your podium, and best of luck for the final 2 races of this championship.
Yeah, thank you. And big ups to Peter for the race pace that he had. It was insane.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's broadcast. To our drivers in the broadcast chat, you guys can actually migrate to the lounge, and that is where we are going to have our debrief. So if you want to go through there and use your mics and have a little bit of a conversation, if you like, you can. Other than that, though, that's the end of racing there for today's round. Next week we head to Indianapolis for the penultimate round of the championship. Server's going to be up right away for you guys to practice. And overall, amazing racing from you guys. We've had some incredible battles down the order. We've had some incidents that we will review directly after the race. So I'm going to go end off the stream now, and we'll discuss after this one. Thank you. And amazing action between all those drivers there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and probably, what was that? Probably one of the best races we've had in the championship. Woo-wee! Come on, man. You can't get better action than that anywhere else. If you want to get on this action, though, join the Discord as soon as possible. This is the action you're missing out. Some of the crazy battles on track. Amazing racing, and you saw Van Doren and Sabot giving us a fight to feed families. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 6th round of the championship. Next week out, it's the penultimate round 7, the USGP at Indianapolis. Should be a great one. We haven't visited Indianapolis's road course since 2022. Can't wait to see what the drivers do out there. As for now, I'm Rahul Nasir from Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. You'll see upload in about an hour from now about that ending as our highlight of that race. Stay tuned for that one. For the stream wise, we'll see you same time, same place.
but over in the United States. We'll see you for the penultimate round of the championship.